This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
One day away from Friday, everybody. Here we are on a Thursday inside our Simply Superior studio at the A-Cup House. That's Charlie Matos. We've got Andy Nye right over there standing by, looking cute as always. Jeff upstairs, Jeff Roberts, pushing buttons. You look great, by the way. Sorry, Charlie. Love that shirt.
Thanks.
Jeff Roberts is upstairs
Amazon
pushing buttons.
Essentials.
He's just pushed it, so now we are live all around with all of our streaming partners. Thank you to everybody that's watching this morning. I'm Kelly Sutton. Bill has the day off.
When do I get more from the Paul Benton collection? I wore a lot of his clothing on the cruise. It's good summer wear.
A closet clean out is needed in the worst way for both of us.
Okay.
We share a closet. Do you guys share a closet?
No.
Okay.
No. The biggest reason is, that our clothes won't all fit in one closet. That's probably the biggest reason.
Sure.
But truly the biggest reason is the crazy time that I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
So I do everything in the guest bedroom. All of my clothes is upstairs in the guest bedroom, and I shave and shower and get dressed up there in that bathroom as well.
Oh.
So then all I have to do is get out of bed and take the dog out, and I don't wake up Renee.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah, we have a walk-in closet. It's a nice size, but
no,
we've outgrown it for sure.
And by we, me. Yeah.
And him.
Yeah.
He has a lot of clothes. So anyway.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that closet clean out very soon.
Just in time to go to Carly's closet at the
Carly's
CMA
closet.
Fest. Hey, I got to make room for more stuff.
Do you know where I'm going today after the show?
I know. I'm very excited about this.
Lynn Anderson's estate sale. So we lost Lynn a few years ago, and her daughter, Lisa Sutton, which, are we related? Maybe I'll get a friends and family discount. They are doing an estate sale, and I'm going today to look at some of the things after I get off the air.
You'll have to
so
report
I'll let you
back.
know. Yeah.
Okay.
If I come in with some really sparkly, fun stuff, you'll know I scored big time. All right, we've got a lot to talk about coming up here on the show, including our entertainment headlines. Y'all, I know you've seen it, but I watched it, and I had to laugh again. You know the thing where they roll down the hill following the cheese? That was yesterday in England, where the guys literally throw themselves down the hill, all to try to catch the rolling ball of cheese, the rolling wheel of cheese. Yeah, so there's a new winner.
I somehow have missed this.
Oh,
I've never
surely.
seen the wheel of cheese.
This is only second to the running of the bulls. You have not seen them
I've not
chasing a
seen,
wheel of cheese.
I've seen the thing where the guys have to carry their wives around
No.
drinking, doing stuff, but I've never seen this one.
No, this is in England.
Okay.
It's a very long-standing
Well, I'm looking forward to
tradition.
seeing it.
Yeah, all right. If you want to see this video, stay tuned for that. Right. Plus, we have other things to talk about coming up in entertainment headlines, including but not limited to Morgan Walling becoming an international superstar. So Morgan has had #1 hits here, but his new album just debuted. I will tell you how many countries it has now gone to the top spot in, which is pretty impressive. Also, Ashley McBryde, Rodney Crowell, they've got a new song out. We talked about that just a minute ago. And the man that quit his job and sailed to Hawaii. He is the inspiration for so many. So we're going to tell you more about that.
With his cat.
With his cat.
Yeah.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We welcomed him in. Adam Wright is sitting right now on our Assembly Food Hall stage. It's good to see you. You were just talking about.
Good to see you guys.
Hey, fancy new place. Because last time we were
this
still
is
there.
impressive. I'm excited. You all know me and have known me for a while, so I'm surprised you left the door open and let me just walk on in.
We figured once you got by
unlocked.
Security, it was all right.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is awesome. I'm sure it's like a more peaceful place to come to work rather than there were a lot of gawkers in the hotel studio.
The fun thing was about this time of year is when we would really start to see the bikinis walking by and the people that were going to the water park and felt like cover up was optional.
Right.
And it's really hard when you're having a conversation with somebody and someone who's half naked walks by. You're like, oh.
Look, I have to be witness to this phenomenon of humanity. Yeah. Excuse me for a moment.
Well, but it's Murphy's Law that the people who opt not to cover up are the ones you wish had covered up. It's never the other way around.
think you want to go to a nude beach until you find yourself at a nude beach.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I feel like you should write a song about that.
I think I probably should.
Well, let's talk about the upcoming project. It's Nature of Necessity. Out today? Is today launch day?
Well, it's coming out in 4 sides. It's like 18 songs, so it's a bit much to digest.
All right, Morgan Wallen, I see you over there with his 37.
And my idea, because I don't know how to do things, is to just drop it all like a big dusty tome and just have people sift through it, whether they want to or leave it alone, whatever the case may be, and move on. But people wiser and smarter than myself, such as my wife and Emily, who's here with me today, who takes care a lot of keeping our train on the track, decided we should roll it out in 4 sides.
Okay.
So side 2 is out today.
Oh, that's good.
Well, it has an old school vinyl feel to it when you say side 2, side 3.
Yeah, it's kind of
so
nice.
it has that ring to it.
It touches a piece of my heart that used to look at big pieces of paper that had records inside of them.
You know, it's funny. I still, if I try not to listen to something, especially if it's an artist I like, that when I try not to listen to it unless I know I have time to listen at least the very first time, start to finish. Because time went into the sequencing, and there's a reason they wanted these songs in this order. And vinyl kind of makes you do that.
Yeah.
It does make you do that. And it is a snapshot of where you are in the process of becoming whoever you're going to be. In every album, I think, is that, or at least should be that. Yeah, and to listen that way, it does feel important.
Yeah, and then I kind of pick my favorites eventually, but the first time, I love the flow of a good record. There's nothing like it.
It is nice when you can sit back and you hear it. It's almost background music, but also you're concentrating on the vibe of it, not so much the lyrics. And then the second time through, it's like I'm really listening more intently to the lyrics. So it's a different listen each time.
It is, yeah, it should be. Yeah, there's an art to sequencing an album and figuring out which things are breaking the flow of. I mean, it is a bit of a. This was a bit of a challenge.
How did you decide? Yeah, how did you go? Okay, this is 1. This is 2.
Well, what I did, because we were all just sort of, there were so many songs, we were a little confused by it all. So I wrote all the titles down and cut them into little pieces of paper, and I stuck them on the top of the piano at home. And I would just, first time, just randomly arrange them and looked at it and went, well, that's not bad. Okay. And then I think I did it alphabetically, and I was like, well, that kind of works too. And then I just started scrambling them up, and every day I would change them around a little bit until we landed on something that everybody was happy with.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle. And eventually you get the pieces right.
Puzzle, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. But the whole thing is out in September, right?
Yeah, sometime in September. I don't know do we have a date, Emily? I don't know.
They told me September 25th, but I won't hold you to it. That's okay.
And by they, she means
you
me.
May know more about
so
that.
I'm wrong often. So, yeah. My people have told me. Yeah. So the list of people who are speaking to songs who have recorded your songs it's a pretty impressive list. I mean,
I hope it keeps growing longer and more impressive as the years go on.
Well, Mr. Brooks is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Mr. Jackson is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Brandy Clark is going to be in the Songwriters Hall of Fame at some point in her life. I'm absolutely sure.
Criminal that he's not already.
And then a guy like Randy Newman. I mean, there's some really cool out of the box ones too.
Yeah, I know. It's been I was telling somebody on a thing not too long ago about they were talking about how songs get cut, and I've never had any luck trying to aim a song at an artist. And a lot of people do have luck that way, like deciding let's write a song for so and so, and it does that. And I've tried that because I would like to have a boat. It just never worked out. It always sort of failed. And the only thing that has worked is just doing something I was really excited about and inspired to write, and it would just land with whoever that seemed to resonate with, Leanne and Alan, and people like Garth, a lot of bluegrass stuff. It's just
Sierra Hull. You mentioned
bluegrass.
bluegrass.
Sierra
Love
Hull.
Sierra.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Jansen beat you to that boat song anyway. So
yeah,
don't worry about that. It's okay.
You know the crazy
you can't get them all.
Crazy thing is, he wrote that song. I was at the #1 party for that song, and they had boats everywhere. They'd brought him out and put him in the parking lot. And I said, "Did you finally get a boat?" And he goes, "No, I don't have time." So that's the bad thing. It's like you get so many hits and you're out there touring and you don't have time.
I have a theory that the dream is not lived in by the person who dreams it, in that what you think you want you're not able to enjoy the way you think you want it once you live the life that allows you to have that thing. It's a little theory I'm working on, but it seems to be true.
Oh,
That's very true.
You know, it's kind of like the people who save up their whole life to retire, but they never stop working. So then they never retire and they never get to enjoy everything they just, well, it's kind of the nature of necessity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I
that's
did there?
right.
Isn't that
Like
nice?
Hey,
Nature of necessity.
You're a professional.
You worked in the time.
Some days.
So proud of you. That's really good. So how did you get started? Because I am sure right now, listening somewhere around the world, there are singer-songwriters who are out there trying to make it happen. This is, year 2, year 3, and they're like, man, is this thing going to catch? How did it get started for you?
Oh gosh, just being able to not do day jobs.
Yeah.
And, man, that's a great question. Well, I think I went from like day job, like working landscape, to just playing guitar and singing all day by getting a record deal, that's probably the hardest way to make that transition, really. But that's how that happened for me. As a songwriter, I think you have to find people that just believe in whatever it is you're doing. And I was really lucky to find that in Frank Liddell, producer and publisher. Man, there's a culture at Carnival Music. If you're working really hard, which if you're a songwriter with a publishing deal, you don't have to work that hard. That's the secret I let you in on.
Oh.
But if you are working really hard and you have a publisher that believes in you, you get a lot of leeway. I mean, they will give you a lot of slack rope to go chase rabbits down rabbit holes, as long as, well, with Frank anyway, as long as he believes that you're working hard and have some vision towards what you're trying to do. And it feels like a luxury today to be with a company like that.
That's very cool. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to play Motor Blood, so give us the backstory on this one.
Man, it's sort of a composite of real stories of people that I'm close to, and also being at an oil change place one day and hearing a conversation of a guy that worked there, and he was talking about his relationship with his son, and they had, it was not a contentious, sort of estranged relationship, and which sort of lined up with this true story of someone I know, and they just sort of fused in my brain, and that's where it came from.
All right, I just got my oil changed yesterday, so this is
Did
good
you?
timing. Yeah, perfect time.
Hey, you gotta keep those windows down and keep your ears open, man.
You never know what you're gonna hear.
You never know what you're gonna hear.
Here's Motor Blood. It's Adam Wright. You're hearing it this morning on WSM.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
Well, he's got part of a project that is out today, part 2. Adam Wright is with us. So this is Nature of Necessity, 4 different parts. The whole thing is coming together in September, but we're just giving you little tastes of it here and there, which I like. It's almost like when you're watching your favorite show and it still just comes on weekly. So you get one a week instead of binging the entire thing.
That's right. And, I'm a fiction addict.
Oh.
And I went through this long Victorian literature phase. And what I realized at the end of some of these novels, there's just a little bit of a history about how they rolled out. A lot of novels in the late 1800s and really early 1900s were rolled out in series. So like once a month or sometimes once a week, you would just get like a chapter.
Yeah.
Which I found fascinating.
Yeah, serializing in like Life magazine back in the day would do it in the U.S. or like a newspaper, like on the Sunday edition would include a new chapter of a book, and you'd have to wait.
Sherlock Holmes.
How
All
cool.
of the Sherlock Holmes, they were released in little chapters when it first started.
Really?
Yeah, which is fascinating to me. I listened to the complete edition, so I've listened to every one of those. But yeah, it was fascinating.
Sherlock Holmes.
It was, but it was fantastic. I love it. So I understand that deep dive.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is something in the delayed gratification that we miss out on now because everything is so easy and instantaneous for us.
Well, it allows you to chew on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, absolutely. What are we chewing on this morning? You got your guitar out.
I got my guitar out.
What do you want to play?
I'm gonna chew on this song about gold miners.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't end well. This song may not end
Spoiler
well
alert.
either.
Whisper Gold?
Whisper Gold.
All right, Adam Wright. Everything about it, the instrumentation, everything that you're playing. Oh, that is
Thank you. I
beautiful.
appreciate that.
So tell me, did you at least get to go somewhere out west and soak up a little bit of the vibes and write it off as a tax, write off later?
That would have been. I could have used you as a consultant.
Okay,
on that.
next time.
Oh, she's available.
You're really good at
That
it.
would
Yeah.
have been
We
a
could work
great-
that out.
a great thing to do.
The imagery in that is so beautiful.
Well, like we were talking about, books earlier. I just got fascinated with these stories of gold miners in these little boom towns that would pop up, and the lack of any sort of judicial infrastructure and how they would just handle things, within the encampment. And obviously, if a bunch of roughnecks are pulling gold out of the ground, some nefarious things are going to happen. And there were some really wild, true stories about all that. It's really just from me digging around and being curious, and put some stories together. Yeah.
Is everything newly written for the record, or did we dig back and find a couple of that
No,
kind
you
of
know
didn't
what?
fit something before, but they fit now?
We actually cut this when was it, Emily? Like almost 3 years ago. I mean, so they all are at least that old, but some probably 5 or 6 years old, some of the songs.
Oh, wow.
I had made this record just by myself, like some other records that I've done, just kind of, bedroom record in my office there over at Carnival. And, and Frank, the songs were just getting weird enough that Frank just wanted to have a meeting. And I was like, man, this is usually not good. Frank wants to have a meeting. And, or it's really good. You never know.
Or it's great, yeah.
It's never just fine.
Right.
Sure.
And so he said, he goes, look, I love these songs. And I was like, great. Okay, we'll see you later. And he said, I want to make this record. I was like, yeah, but I kind of already. And he's like, no, man. Let's get these songs. Let's get these other songs. Let's go in and let's make this record. And I'm really glad he did, because it turned out to be the scope of it became a lot bigger, and some of the song choices became more interesting. It made a more complete record, and I didn't have to produce it, which was also wonderful too.
That was pretty cool. Wildly brilliant genius is what Robert Earl Keen had called you. One of the best songwriters and storytellers there is. That's from Buddy Miller. What does it feel like to have these people who are already held in such high regard on their own account say those things about you?
It feels wonderful. The fact that they even just, remember my name, even if they were saying mean things about me, would give me a little bit of esteem. But I don't know. Somehow I've managed to garner the respect and admiration of people I respect and admire. And however I managed to do that, it feels really good.
Well, we'll bring you back down to earth. What do your boys think about your songs? Are they a good litmus test if they like a song? Because you got
That'll keep you
a
humble.
12 and a 14-year-old, right?
Man, oh no, you're talking about being humble. I mean, they're hardcore jazz.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, my oldest plays piano, and my younger plays upright bass, and they are just hardcore jazz. And if it's not that, they don't have a whole lot of patience for it. But my son did say this might be maybe the biggest compliment recently. Like, I was listening to something, most of what I listen to is sort of rootsy, bluegrass or folk or something like that. And he always turns it immediately.
of
and
course.
And he goes, no, and then it would be like, Ornette Coleman,
Yeah,
something pretty heady, which I love too, but I just can't play it, so I don't, obsess over it like he does. And I said, Adrian's his name. I said, so does my music, because he turns it off immediately. I was like, does what I do sound like this? And he says, not your record. Your record's fire, but what you play around the house does.
There's a compliment in there, though. That's the beauty of it.
You got your record is fire. That should be on the label.
Yeah.
Like when people go to buy it.
Adrian Wright.
This
This record is fire.
This record is fire. That's all you need to know, everybody. There you go.
That's the hype sticker on the front of the album.
Congratulations. As somebody who has a teenager, Hey, hold on to that one.
Yeah, I mean, I should have it printed. You're right.
You really should.
Yeah, it should be framed.
Maybe
somewhere.
even a tattoo later. Thank you for always making time and coming to see us.
Man, it's great to see you guys.
We
again.
love it.
Thanks for having me.
Adam Wright, side 2 of the project, Nature of Necessity. It's out today and more to come. The whole project in September. Thanks for stopping by.
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Well, we are gearing up for a busy week here in Nashville next week at CMA Music Fest, and that means it is time again. The annual Next Generation Show. This is the 13th year that it's been happening. And joining us here in the studio in just a few minutes, Melissa Luman and Hawkshaw Hawkins Jr. We're going to get all the details on the show this year, but we thought we would start things off with Run from Melissa's dad, Bob. Here's Bob Luman. Let's think about living, and you're hearing it on WSM. That just has a summertime feel to it. Makes me happy. How does it feel to hear that coming through the speakers here at WSM, Melissa?
It makes me happy.
Does it?
Makes me very happy. Yeah.
Well, welcome back in, y'all.
It's
Good
great
to
be
see
here.
you.
Thanks for having us.
13th year in a row, y'all are doing it. And I just said, man, 13 years. And Charlie, you even mentioned, you were like, it doesn't feel like 13 years. And you said, well, it would have been 15 if we wouldn't have that little pause in 2020, 2021 with COVID.
2-year pause.
Yeah. So glad you guys are back.
Thank you.
It's going to be a good show this year. Who you got coming?
We got all kinds of people.
We got a bunch of new ones. I'll tell you who I'm excited about is Daryl Pillow. Him and my mother recorded a couple albums together, and he's a super duper nice guy. He came last year and came backstage, and we invited him, and he said sure. So
is that Ray's son? Would that have been Ray's son? Oh man, I miss Ray. Oh,
he's a great
what a
guy.
good man.
And I'm also excited about Ren Stewart, who's Win Stewart's son. We hadn't had him yet. We've got a lot of new ones. If you want to.
Jody Seafried. She is Connie Smith's daughter. We are so excited.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yes,
That's
very excited.
amazing.
Also got Father of Bluegrass, Bill Monroe's grandson.
Man, this is so cool because there are people that are going to be there that obviously probably remember when some of these kids were born because they were fans for so long. What is the vibe like for people that haven't been to the show, Melissa? What's it like for people that are coming in? What are they going to experience?
Gosh, well, we're going to take them back to the good old days, aren't we?
Yes.
Real country music. That's what we do. We sing the songs that made our parents famous, and we're not trying to be our parents, and we just are there to entertain and bring back lots of memories. And
Yes, and this year we've got our first ever songwriter. I mean, we write songs and stuff,
Right.
but really classic songwriter is Bobby Braddock's daughter, Lauren.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
She's a sweetheart. And they put Bobby and my mother in the Hall of Fame the same year, and I got to talk with him, and I said, Mr. Braddock, I said, I'm Hawkshaw. He said, I know who you are.
Well, the cool part about this kind of night, too, is I'm sure people they kind of make it an annual event. But I bet you if you get to talk to some of the fans who have been fans for a long time, you may hear a story or two about your dad or about your mom and dad that you never heard before. And it's
quite
like,
a bunch.
this is so cool.
I'll tell you, Harlan Howard and my daddy were real close, and I wrote for Harlan for a little while, and he told me some stories I probably shouldn't tell on air. But
Well, those are the good ones, right?
Those are the good ones.
We'll wait till the microphone.
Those are the ones you need to write down and then release
Yes.
someday
Yeah.
later.
Write a book.
Yes, write a book
Just
about
don't
it.
want Mama to find out about them.
But those are the gems, and I think that you have done such a beautiful job of keeping this legacy alive because that's really the important
thank
thing.
you, thank you.
Not losing the legacy, not losing the stories, not losing the songs,
Yes.
and the storytelling in between the songs too. I think that's what a lot of people love.
it's a
about
lot
this.
of work, and it's
Yeah.
very important to us to keep our parents' memory and music alive and well.
Yeah.
We're really excited. Our headliners this year are the Nelsons. Ricky Nelson's kids.
Oh, I
We're
love
so
them.
excited.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, they've
very
been
excited.
in town for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gunner lives here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do an annual Christmas tour. Oh, they're phenomenal.
I
I
know.
love
They are.
those guys.
They're really,
yeah.
really good.
They're
We are.
great.
We're real excited.
You know, it's interesting. We kind of come full circle because about 20 minutes ago we did an Opry rewind, and it was Steve Wariner on the Opry stage. And I was telling Kelly that your dad, Bob, I mean, not only did he have a great voice and was he a great performer, but his bands throughout the years were. I mean, he loved guitar players.
He did. He
Yeah.
started out with James Burton.
Who's in the Hall of Fame?
Yes. And actually, him and James went to Hollywood, and Ozzie Nelson heard and came in and took James Burton away from my dad. So James played for Ricky, and then, of course, later on with Elvis. So, yeah.
But did not Steve Wariner start off with your dad,
Yes,
too, really early
absolutely.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played with my mom for a while.
Yeah.
Did he really? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Super nice guy.
You'll love this story. You know, I had never met your mom, and it was backstage at the Opry, and I can't remember if it was Dan Rogers or Nicole Judd who said, "Well, I'll come introduce you," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I was a little nervous, and they were rehearsing the song we're going to close with in a little while. They were rehearsing "Slipping Away" in her dressing room, and they go, "Hey, Gene, if you have a second, this is Charlie Mattos. He's excited to meet you." And I go, and she goes, "I know who you are. You still work with that turkey, Bill Cody, every morning?"
That
And I'm like,
turkey.
That sounds just like her.
Oh, yeah.
She was a pistol now. Mama, you didn't want to know how she feel, don't ask her because she's going to tell
Yeah.
you. She was
Real
saying-
quick.
Yeah, I miss those characters, though. You know? I mean,
Yeah,
it
she
really
was a character.
Yeah, backstage was a different place.
It was.
Oh,
It was. And I've got a
gosh.
room that's just full of her awards and pictures and stuff. And I started going through them the other day, and I found pictures of her and Elvis, her and Waylon Jennings, and I mean, just a big stack of photos that she had a lady take for her.
Wow.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to have all that stuff, that memorabilia.
So at what point did y'all realize that mom and dad had different jobs? Like mom and dad.
Well-
like it wasn't normal that the other
Definitely
kids
not normal.
The other kids at school didn't have parents that were playing on the Grand Ole Opry or out touring.
Well, I had lost my dad. Of course,
That's
he died
right.
a month before I was born, and Mama was never home. She was always on the road. So there were several summers there where we would get dropped off at somebody's house we didn't know, and we would live with them for 3 months. So
Wow.
it was wild.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Right?
And I went to school with Roy Orbison's kids, John Carter Cash, Bobby Jr.
Oh, so it was normal.
Barbara
Everybody's-
Mandrell. Yeah, so there was a group of us. We were all pretty used to our parents not being home at
Did you go to
5:30
Good
for
Pasture?
dinner.
Where'd you-
No, Sumner Academy.
Okay, Sumner Academy. I was
They
wondering.
later went to Good Pasture.
It's-
Several of them did.
It's just fascinating to realize like what you were privy to when you were kids that you didn't realize, and now
Oh,
you look back on
Oh
it.
yeah, we pulled up here at the Acuff house, and I said, "There's where we used to jump over the fence to go out to Opryland." Yeah.
Now he was a troublemaker.
Oh.
he was a lot older than me.
Not
Oh,
shocked.
I just
She
ran
says that
around.
every time.
I just ran around backstage, jacked up on the pink lemonade.
Were either of you ever in this when it was Mr.
Oh,
Roy's
yeah,
house?
Yeah,
I
it,
was not.
it had guitars and albums hanging around. It was really cool. We could actually come in. It doesn't look the same now, but we could come in and go out this way. But we had passes. We could have came in the front, but
Yeah.
Mama just dropped us off there and let us run the place.
Well, that was the beauty of Opryland.
Oh
right?
gosh!
I mean,
that was the babysitter.
It was 6 hours of daycare
That was the
every day.
babysitter,
I'll pick you up at
absolutely.
4 o'clock. You know?
all day long.
I hate that I missed out on all of that.
Oh man, you would have
gosh.
loved. You would have loved.
All
that.
right, so the show is going to be happening June 5th. It's at the Troubadour Theater. Tickets, how do people get tickets? Still some available?
Yeah, www.outhoustickets.com.
All right, there you go, everybody. The Next Generation Show, 13 years and going strong. It's going to be a good time. And I think we're going to close with Mama's song. Is that all right with you?
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I think
love
this is
seeing
one
you.
that Whispering Bill Anderson
It
wrote
sure
and
did.
still
Hey,
does
and
every
I've got
once
the-
in a while.
I've got the written copy of it.
The lyrics?
Yeah, the lyrics when Bill wrote them, and I remember him coming to our house. His wife's name's Betty, I think, at the time, and he gave that to Mama when that song went #1, and that's one of the things I dug out of all of her stuff, and it's, Whispering Bill, and he only messed up like twice.
You need to have that framed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
As soon
so
as you walk
nice.
into my house, you see Mama's Hall of
Okay.
Fame thing, and that right next to it.
Those, the scratches out and trying to see what they actually writ. That's my favorite part of handwritten lyrics. I love seeing that kind of stuff.
A lot of
really
history.
cool.
Yeah.
A lot of history. Y'all, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Melissa and Hawk. All right, let's play it. Here it is, Slipping Away, Gene Shepard.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
Well, good morning to everybody listening around the world this morning on WSM or watching us on Circle. We are happy to invite her in. Michele Capps, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are
It's
you?
So good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
I know we got something really special that's coming up, and we love the fact that we're going to be honoring Jimmy, your sweet husband. How long were y'all married?
Well, not near long enough.
Okay.
We knew each other 25 years, but we were married 13.
Yeah.
And we were so blessed. I'm so thankful to have had those years, but I would have loved to have had a lot more, you know.
Well, he was such a fixture in every aspect of music here, from studio to any time you went to the Opry for 6 decades. Really, you would see Jimmy. It's hard to believe that 5 years has gone because he still feels like he's with us.
I know, and that's the thing. When I worked at the Opry 25 years as the chart chick, the guys called me, but it was hard at first for me to go back without Jimmy being there. But then as time has progressed, it's comforting and painful at the same time because I can still feel him there. I mean, he was just such a part of that place. Like you said, he was a fixture. Yeah. And so he was just, my mother years ago, she would say, well, tell the Grand Ole Opry I said hello, and she was talking about Jimmy, because he was the Grand Ole Opry to her,
Did y'all meet there?
No, we met in the studio, actually. I came here and recorded, and thankfully, the man that was hiring the musicians, he hired Jimmy as the session leader, and of course, we had no idea what was to come. Yeah. But that's how we met. Yeah. So
I loved his sense of humor because it was very subtle and very dry.
It was very subtle.
But my favorite Jimmy Capps story is Eddie Stubbs one time backstage lamenting about trying to get away. He goes, I just want to go somewhere where people don't know the name Eddie Stubbs. And Jimmy, without batting an eye, goes, have you tried Smyrna?
I was standing there, and I could not believe, and he said it very quietly. And Eddie just pretended that he didn't hear what he said. But Jimmy did. He said, try Smyrna, Eddie. And it was like, in a week's time, that story was all over the Opry.
It's legendary.
Everybody,
it's legendary.
Gold.
But he was really subtle, and you had to really be listening. Yeah. And after you walked off, you'd go, "Oh, he just zinged me,"
That's amazing. I love those type of people because it's so understated. They're very funny, and they don't even try to be funny.
Oh, and he didn't. And he was witty, but he wasn't boisterous. As you know, Charlie was so humble.
Oh yeah.
And so this memorial that I've done for him at Spring Hill Cemetery, which is, I guess you could call it an unveiling, this Sunday at 3 p.m. Jimmy would never have done this for himself, and he would come back and kill me if he knew that I had done it. But, to honor him comforts me. So it was a labor of love, and it was something really special. I wish that I could describe it for you or show you a picture of it, but I'd really like for that to be a surprise on Sunday.
Okay.
But it does involve guitar. It does involve music. It's really beautiful at night.
Will people get to hear some of his music if they go visit?
A little bit.
Okay. Oh, see that?
You
that's
asked
really
me
special.
that, and see, I wasn't going to say that.
Well, that's my
okay.
job. I got to do my job. I'm over here pulling it out of you. So in knowing him, and all of the facets of his life, from recording with other people or being a band leader or being a part of the Opry, is there a song that when he recorded or he came back, he was like, man, this one was special, or one that you think really sticks out, or even a memory where he came back very excited about what he'd just done that day?
I think so. He had a really good story about George Jones. He stopped loving her today, which I won't go into, but it was kind of a funny
we got
story.
time. We got time. Go ahead.
It's okay. But Jimmy, it was work for him that he loved. And so, he would go from, there were years that someone came up with a number of maybe 520 sessions a year that he played. Wow. And so he would go and he played. He thought, he said his job, that was the reason the name of his book is called The Man in Back, because he felt like his job was to enhance the song and the singer. And so that's what he did. And he would go from one session to the next, and he would play for that singer and their songs. And then he would, play a totally different style. But I guess probably one of the most well-known songs that he played on is Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. And you were talking about over 6 decades. when he passed away, he had been on the Opry for over 61 years. And somebody pointed out to me, he never got fired and he never had to quit.
Oh, well,
and I was
that's a
like, I never
rarity.
thought about it like that, because it would have been the hardest thing for him, to have left the Opry, because he loved it so much. And he was so dedicated, even all those years when he was playing 520 sessions a year.
Well, we're going to play The Gambler in just a couple of minutes, but just a few others that Jimmy played on, okay? It's the catalog of country music. Stand By Your Man by Tammy Wynette.
Yep.
He Stopped Loving Her Today, George Jones. The Rose by Conway. He played on Here in the Real World for Alan Jackson. Amarillo by Mornin for George Strait.
Yeah.
Elvira for the Oak Ridge Boys. Sleeping Single in a Double Bed for Barbara
yeah.
Mandrell.
Barbara.
I mean, I could go on and on and
I
on and
know.
on. But if you are someone who has vinyl and like to read the liner notes, you'll see that name in probably 50% of your collection if you got
Yes.
if you got a decent country collection.
Yes.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It is.
So,
It really is. And then all the TV shows that he did back when they were black and white.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, right up to doing Larry's Country Diner, Country Family Reunion.
Yeah.
Hearing you play Slipping Away by Gene Shepherd, one of the most loved clips of Country Family Reunion was she was doing Slipping Away, and the band had talked about whether to modulate, not to modulate, whatever. Wound up, Jimmy playing lead guitar is the one that modulated, and they didn't, and it was a train wreck. And the look that Gene Shepherd gave him, y'all, you've seen that look on her face.
You don't want to look at you.
And he's sitting back there going, one more? Can I just do one? And no, they said, no, this is too good. We're leaving it. And so it's become one of the most famous clips of that series.
Oh, I bet that
you
ate
know.
him up. I bet that ate him up when he
It
got
did.
home. Yeah.
Because he was a perfectionist.
Oh, it's like an athlete. You don't remember the 50 you just did right. You remember the one that you just messed up
The
on.
one that he messed up.
Yeah.
And she never let him live it down.
So for folks who don't know where Spring Hill is, it's right off of Briley Parkway. It's
Yeah.
very easy to find
Yes.
and quite a beautiful property. I mean,
It
it's gorgeous.
really, really is, with the military cemetery directly across. And it's a very old cemetery, and there Keith Whitley's there, and I remember Billy Walker. I mean, but there's a lot of artists and musicians that are buried there. Roy Acuff is there. And
We still think
Earl
some mornings
Scruggs.
he's here, Michelle. But with
Sir?
every once in a while we think he's here still
He's
with
still
us.
in
I'd
the
say
house.
his,
There's a few mornings it's like, get out of my house, you know.
there's a
So-
glitch.
There's part of him that is, right? Just like there's a part of Jimmy still at the Opry
That's
House.
exactly
You
right.
know, so I hope it is open to the public on Sunday at 3. I hope everybody will come out. We've got some Opry folks coming. There'll be a little live music, and it's really informal, but just a gathering to honor Jimmy, not to exalt him, because God is the only one that we need to exalt, but just a remembrance of the gift that God gave him to play guitar, and he played it with his whole heart.
He sure did.
He played it with his soul.
5110 Gallatin Pike South, Sunday, this coming Sunday, 3 o'clock. The public is welcome to see this beautiful new memorial being unveiled to remember our friend Jimmy Capps. Michelle, thank you for coming in.
Thank y'all for having me.
Good to see you.
It was good to
We're
see
going
you,
to close out
too.
with the Gambler.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
We have had a fine morning here this morning so far inside our Simply Superior studio here at the ACAF House on the Opry Plaza, and we got a lot of entertainment headlines to get to, and international entertainment headlines, I might add.
All right. We were just talking off the air, reminiscing about the old TNN days, and I remembered I got my mom a Shotgun Red doll for Christmas one year.
Did?
Yeah. Okay. They Shotgun Red would crack up my parents anytime Steve and Shotgun were on Ralph Emery's show.
Shotgun Red was the one thing that I remembered about Ralph Emery. When I went to do the interview with Ralph, the whole reason I came to Nashville in 2001, Ralph was rebooting his morning show on a local station here, and they needed someone to be his sidekick and to also do news and weather, by the way. You know, I did weather for like 2 years, which was
you're a pro.
crazy.
Yeah.
But they had me come in, and the only thing that I knew about Ralph Emery that I could remember from TNN was Shotgun Red.
And I'm sure he loved that.
Well, the crazy thing is, Ralph back then had a full beard.
Yes.
And, you know, looked a lot younger. So when this older man came in and started talking to me, I didn't realize it was Ralph.
Had he shaved?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a totally different look.
Clean shaven.
Right? Yeah.
We were talking, and then when he got up to walk away, I said, I didn't catch your name. And he turned around and he said, I'm Ralph Emery. And I was like, I'm never going to get this job now.
And you got it. That's
and I
the
got
crazy
it.
thing.
He loved the fact that I didn't know,
Right.
like, I didn't kiss the ring. He
Yeah.
liked that a lot. So I was actually really good. All right. Well, let's talk about some Morgan Wallen superstar stardom in the international realm. This is pretty cool. So he's officially an international star now because his album has now debuted at the top of the charts in 7 different countries. That's impressive. The United Kingdom, New Zealand, Australia, Norway, Scotland, and he's repeating in the U.S. and Canada. So I'm the Problem is now #1 in 7 different countries.
Well, he can do a world tour, right?
He's already
Yep.
in the UK right now currently and absolutely crushing it. So, yeah, it's nuts that this has happened. And then his other albums here in the US, One Thing at a Time and Dangerous, they both stayed on top of the Billboard 200 for more than 100 weeks each. So basically, he's just replacing himself.
Yeah, he stayed #1 until he released something else.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, Gavin Adcock, we love him, but got in trouble with the law. And now he's going viral for his mugshot because he is grinning from ear to ear in his mugshot. Guess what? He is going to take that and he's going to go with it because he has a new song coming out tomorrow called Morning Bail. The first line of Morning Bail is, "Hey, mister, can I get a copy of the mugshot?" I can't wait to play it for you. We're going to play it tomorrow. So
For
make
sure,
you tune
that
in.
has to be the single art, right? The mugshot.
100%.
You know, as mugshots go, we have seen far worse.
And here's the thing. You can't buy this kind of press.
Right.
So in case you hadn't heard, he got arrested. He was in Wilson County. He was speeding, first of all, but then they pulled him over and he had an open container apparently in his lap. Not even like,
what are you gonna do?
It was a bad idea. He was let go, $1,000 bond. He's got to go to court for it later. But, you know, in the world of country music, they call that street cred. So that's what's going on with him.
And listen, in the scale of mugshots, it's no Nick Nolte.
No. It
That's
actually
like the
looks
best
pretty
of
good.
all time, I
Nick
think. The
Nolte.
Nick Nolte.
Yeah. We talked about this earlier, but in case you missed it, there's a man that finally said, take this job and shove it, and meant it. 29-year-old man living in Oregon. I think he worked for like a tire place, but he was in corporate sales. And he said, I absolutely hate my job. I hate my life. There has to be more to life than this. He saved up enough money to buy a sailboat. He quit his job, watched a bunch of YouTube videos to learn how to sail for about a month, and then set off. He said, I want to sail around the world with my cat. So he has a little cat named Phoenix. His name is Oliver Widger, and he made it from Oregon to Oahu in just less than a month. But he wasn't sure what was going to happen. He'd never done anything like this before. He vlogged it every day. You can go to his Instagram and see day 1, day 2, day 3 as he was going throughout. And then when he got to Hawaii, man, he was greeted with a hero's welcome. He said, I hope I inspire people to chase their dreams. And I don't know where his next adventure is going to take him, but he's going out again.
Now, I used YouTube to build Jackson's crib when he was first born, the YouTube tutorial on how to do that. And he survived. The crib did really well. But I'm not sure I would trust myself to sail to Hawaii after watching YouTube on how to sail.
Right?
Like building stuff, I think is okay.
Well, and to be by yourself, like that's
Right.
the other thing. You're by your cat's not helping you. He's not your first mate at this point.
Right, yeah.
So just the
Good
thought.
looking cat, though,
Good
I
looking
will say.
cat.
Yeah.
But just the thought of being there and feeling so alone.
Can you imagine you and Wicket in a
Oh,
sailboat
good
for
Lord,
28
no.
days?
I can't imagine me and Wicket in the car going to the store. He doesn't even ride in the car anymore. He's like, absolutely not. I'm past that in my old age. And his old age is
He's
6.
not even old.
He's 6.
Yeah.
But he
Like-
he presents as a 16-year-old dog and versus a 6-year-old dog.
okay.
He has an old
he's
soul.
cranky. Yeah.
He's an old. I
Man,
call him my little dragon.
So you
'cause
leave him at home and then you come to me and Cody. You're a blessed woman is what you are.
There is a
What?
through line in my life.
Oh, yeah. What was Johnny Cash's great line? I did my hell on earth. Like, I know I'm going to heaven because I served my hell on earth. I think you're covered. So.
Okay, this is my favorite video. I can't believe you haven't seen this because it is a very long-standing tradition. Cooper's Hill. It's an annual cheese rolling competition. Runners will be plunged down a 200-yard perilously steep pitch in pursuit of a speeding wheel of double Gloucester cheese. So this has been happening for years. It's in the UK, and they did the rolling of the cheese. When I said you hadn't seen it, I'm really shocked you have not seen it.
I've never even heard of it. Never mind not seen it.
I don't know how many years it's been happening, but it's years because, I mean, we would always show this on the news. Like, this is second only to the running of the bulls.
I was going. You made a great comparison. It is the cheese version of the bull.
So you pitch yourself down this hill as fast as you can, all in pursuit of the roll of cheese. Yes, people are being carted off. There are broken bones.
Oh, there's the winner.
The winner is a German YouTuber, and this is the second year in a row that he has won the wheel of cheese.
He needs to eat some cheese.
I think he looks a little skinny. So there you go. Hey, don't chase the cheese down the big, scary-looking hill. Just go to Kroger and get yourself a wheel of cheese.
All right.
We'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Come join us right here. Coffee Country and Cody. Bye.